We are live. This is the market update. This is the Elon versus Donnie T market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Who will be the winner? You will. Crypto holders will. It's Christmas. Algorithms watched Tesla go down and took crypto with it. So these two guys going back and forth on Twitter, assuming it's not like pro wrestling and it's contrived, assuming it's not that, it's a demonstration of a very simple principle. Sovereigns do not have your interest at heart. They don't. They don't care about you. You have to care about you. The focus isn't, well, they're not acting the right way. Don't worry about what they're doing. Really. I mean, they're behaving badly, and it's been that way for a long time. The question is, what are you going to do about it? And ironically, the thing you are going to do about it, which we cover here, which we cover in the YouTube member area in the podcast that we just got done with, which I just covered with Ethereum mathematics for an altcoin supercycle. Anybody remember that? The Altcoin Supercycle mathematics is now in Patreon Platinum. Can you believe I'm talking about a supercycle? Can you believe I'm talking about this payroll number being bullish? Everyone's all worried about it one way or the other. It's probably going to be market constructive. That's what my colleague says. Everyone worries about these things. They come, they go. A lot of people got hired in January. Hiring most likely slowed down. So what? These are things we already know. Now, talking about like the quiet part being said out loud, this whole conflict between politicians and people who want some level of responsibility, yeah, you could go at it on Twitter. What are we going to do tomorrow? We got impeachment, the space station. We'll go through it all. What's next? How about Elon goes in and buys a bunch of Doge or announces he starts taking Bitcoin for Teslas? In other words, this whole thing is flipped around, right? All the MAGA guys probably already bought Teslas. He's in trouble with the board of directors. So now he's going to turn himself into a hero, and you're probably going to be able to go buy a Tesla with crypto, or he's going to create a Doge reserve, or he's going to say, you know what? This is BS. I am buying crypto. It's the only thing he hasn't said today, that person as in Elon. You're definitely going to want to see the Ethereum report and the mathematics behind the meaning of the low at 1,400 recently. Normally, I'd be upset on days like today. I'm not. At all. Matter of fact, it's a happy day. I pushed the report out while it was down. Let's welcome who's here. Bull Runner, Big Rich, joining us from the YouTube member live stream. Sir, welcome. Right, we have Paul, Bobby, oh my God, with the McAfee emoji. Good evening from Ireland. Sir, we appreciate you staying up late to be with us. Right, today's Tech Bites, Arrow and Virtuals. Just discussed that. Virtuals on the dip, support at 148. All right. Your Bass Hurts from the Spartans and the member stream. Welcome. Grandpa Keeter, a serial supporter of the platform. We appreciate you, sir, along with Bull Runner, Big Rich, Bob, right? Not knowing what to do when all your heroes are fighting. It's like something out of the Avengers. Warmon, Tibor, what's up? Live it. When start? Right now. Felix, hello from Portugal. Neff is here. Hello. Corey, Renee, DNT, save her. Don't save her. Good evening. Welcome. Swiss Seb, Gavin, DGen Joe, a member for 6 months. Let's go. A1. By the way, Elon want hydrogen. So entertained. YouTube intern is here. Okay, people, you know what we got to do. You know it. Okay, the most ignored story, perhaps, since I think BlackRock initially started talking about the Bitcoin ETF. So Elon and Trump added on Twitter. Oh, okay. Meanwhile, Circle comes out at $30 and goes up 100%. Basically, the stock market just told you that all of crypto should be 150% higher than what it is now. 150% higher. So where's ETH? 2.5. Let's get the calculator out. So if ETH does a circle, 2.5, no, 2,500, that's the price of ETH. 2,500 times 1.68, a nice fib number. That's 4,200. So each should be at 4,200, and people are falling over themselves trying to hit the sell button. Everyone getting liquidated. It's ha, 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 ha. They are standing down there. And this is a dream for these guys. Like, my theory yesterday was that, they had to be like, oh, wow, this thing's going to blow on this big, beautiful bill. And we got to take whatever we can get slowly. And then all of a sudden, Elon comes out on the tape and whoosh. I mean, they got to take, they're going to take everything down here. I wish I could take everything down here. If I was running a hedge fund, we'd be coming in with both hands. We'll find out if I'm still a hedge fund manager in a month, right? This may not be, the exact low because it may, I don't know, zigzag, but still, everything's Tesla stock down 15%. Tesla's a very expensive stock. Tesla is priced for robots, but this Circle trade, this affects XRP, the value of stable coins, and the value of crypto, and everyone ignored it. Everyone. Okay, now, just in case you're wondering how this fight started, politicians get fantasy math from the Congressional Budget Office of the Management of the Budget. Okay, so according to what people have been told, the bill reduces the deficit by $1.4 trillion over 10 years. When you adjust, they put in a gimmick. They use unrealistic numbers. They have a fake thing which includes $1.7 trillion in mandatory savings, the most in history, according to the theory behind the bill. So this is what the orange man is reading behind his desk. He's like, okay, these are the facts and figures. This bill will do this, which of course it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Okay. So Elon just takes the whole thing to a logical extreme, right? He just does it all in one day. It's like, somebody punched me in the face. We're going to impeach the guy. What else we got? I don't mind if Elon turns against me. If you don't pass the bill, there'll be a tax increase. That may be true, but this feels like damage control and backpedaling. Don't go to the site if you're not prepared for the shock value, but somebody talked about Beeple art yesterday. Taco, Trump always caves. Ooh, Taco Tuesday. Man, don't look if you're not an adult. Can't unsee that. Somebody's in trouble here, and somebody's going to have to do a crypto pivot. This is the most trouble I've seen these guys in. I thought the trouble over the tariffs was big. Of course, this doesn't break capital markets. It's probably going to break the big, beautiful bill. Because, Elon just resurrected opposition to the deep state or whoever is pushing through some of this insanity, some of this stuff in Eastern Europe. I mean, the same stuff is happening. It's just different guys in charge. And you thought it was going to be different. And the optics are not different. If anything, it's worse because of the whole Palantir thing. We had what? The surveillance state, the deep state, Eastern Europe, the big, beautiful blow up. Yeah, it's beautiful for us in crypto. It's incredible that the Speaker of the House insinuated that Elon is against the bill because it doesn't benefit his company specifically, and then it goes full TLDR. This guy was being demonized by the Orange Man for resisting any increase in spending. The Orange Man wanted to primary him, meaning they wanted to get him out prior to an election versus a Democrat, let's put it that way. Now he looks like a genius. He's got 1.3 million Twitter followers. This is a congressman from Kentucky. Hello. Hello. The rebellion is on. Now, you ready for this? Surprise headline. Vitalik buys an obscure privacy product, which has appeared in a lot of our reports and podcasts, called Railgun. Believe it or not. Right? Privacy with DeFi. Okay. So it gets a big Vitalik bump. And then, of course, there's the Vitalik bump and then the Trump and Elon dump. Guess what, everybody? Guess what? You got to have crypto. You got to have decentralization. You got to have ETH. You got to have Web3. By the way, Web3 is worth $200 billion. The Magnificent Seven is $17 trillion. And Web3 is worth $200 billion. $53 million for ZK privacy on Arbitrum for DeFi. And instead of doing a Bitcoin treasury like everyone on the planet, which is probably, a Johnny come lately, right? No one wanted it at 54 or 48 or 77, but at 110, let's do a Bitcoin treasury. Meanwhile, Vitalik's out buying small privacy coins. It's called redemption. I have a plan to cut spending, increase spending. The optics here are horrendous. They trusted whatever the Congressional Budget Office gave them, and it's all completely wrong. They actually put this through thinking that it had any level of responsibility to it, and of course it doesn't. It's insane. America is in the fast lane to a debt problem. Can't even use that word on the air. The guy controls the media. The guy had too much power when he was doing Doge, and now he's probably got too much power in the other direction. And, again, after he spends all day on Twitter, these guys have been on Twitter all day. They've got two choices, right? They can either make up, they can escalate it beyond the point of immaturity, or somebody can do the crypto pivot. All Elon has to do is says, we're adding to our Bitcoin holdings. We're adding Doge. We're accepting Bitcoin for Teslas. After this payroll number is added away, whatever it is, right? If the payroll number gives Powell a little wiggle room, great. If it's neutral, great. Great. Right? I mean, I think it just has to be out of the way. I think that's why everyone freaked out. It's like, oh my God, two guys are going at it on Twitter, and this has what to do with crypto? It has everything to do with crypto. Sovereigns can't get their act together. You bring in the smartest businessman allegedly on the planet and can't get any spending cuts done. None. Like Brandon and these guys were handing out money everywhere. There's nowhere to cut. Please. They're demonstrated their ineptitude. The spending bill increases the debt ceiling, the largest debt ceiling increase in history. Okay. Making tax cuts permanent and could vote for the big, not yet beautiful bill if the debt ceiling were voted on separately. Folks, you just can't give politicians a blank check. Or you can just buy a ton of crypto. And I don't understand why we're selling. This reminds me of the yen carry trade back in August of last year, where everyone was like, oh yeah, we're selling. It's a disaster. It's the end of the world. No, it's not. How many times have we seen the end of the world? Seems like we do it weekly, right? We do it weekly. Putin will retaliate. That'll be the end of the world. That'll be World War III trending on Twitter, right? Time to drop the really big you-know-what. Donnie T is in a file. That's why they haven't been made public. The world's greatest fiction writers couldn't have conceived a timeline like this. You know what, folks? The world's greatest science fiction writers could not have imagined that crypto people in January thought the government was going to moon their bags. And then the government comes out and moons their bags, not by buying crypto, but by behaving in such a way, that as soon as you saw Gann mathematics about where Ethereum and altcoins could go, that this could be the beginning of a cycle, not the end of one. They mooned your bags. They're mooning your bags and we're selling. And that's classic, right? They're like, yeah, we're mooning our bags. Buy. And they're actually mooning your bags. And everyone's like, sell. Smart money is down there just going, it's fine. I'll just take all of this, literally all of it, especially the Ethereum, especially the Solana, especially the XRP, right? There is eventually going to have to be a pivot towards made in America crypto. They're going to have to go back to something patriotic. I don't know how they're going to dig themselves out of this hole. They dug themselves out of the tariff hole because Bessent and the Fed bailed them out. I don't know how the Fed and Bessent bailed them out of this level of stupidity. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm actually surprised that you haven't seen a reaction from the dollar yet. Orange Man says he doesn't know if he's going to have a good relationship with Elon after this. You know, these DOGE staffers, not just Elon, right? They torched his dealerships, but when they doxed all the people that were on the staff for this, yeah, man, they got harassed and then some. Like they were in danger. And these people went to work 80 hours a day for 5 months under Elon's thumb, which could not have been fun, to find out all this stuff that got thrown out the window. They threw it out the window. The crypto market has to react to this. Okay, Orange Man saying that the debt ceiling creates the threat of a default. Theoretically, it does. Theoretically, it does, but, you know, you can't buy into whatever the Congressional Budget Office is talking about. And frankly, when I saw this, I was wondering if the guy was compromised. Okay, you know, seriously, that the guy was compromised. That, you know, whatever the drone strike in Eastern Europe and all this other stuff, Palantir. I mean, either somebody has had like an optics breakdown. I don't know what they're doing, but the crypto market should be reacting to this in a much more positive way. And what's really unbelievable is the guy that hates crypto is like, ooh, look, let's do crypto. Jamie over at JP Morgan is allowing people to borrow against the Bitcoin ETF because the Bitcoin ETF is probably better than treasuries, at least in their mind, as collateral. So Wall Street is going to do DeFi. I know this is very distasteful for everybody. The banks are going to do DeFi. And I didn't believe it until I saw the Supercycle report. I mean, you know, it's insane to think you go to collections, Platinum Research, the Ethereum and Altcoin Supercycle, XRP, Solana, the math behind that, along with the small coin picks. I mean, this was life-changing. This was life-changing when the Gann model spit these things out. Forget about it, right? We went over it with the YouTube members on the podcast today. The details and the hard recommendations in the report. Not upset today. Like, I'm happy. I was like, oh my God, 4 hours of sleep. Get this out there. Oh my God. Yesterday was literally nothing to talk about. Today, I don't know. This may be another no sleep day. I got to just pour it down the pipe to get everyone in. Look at this. Liquidity injection. U.S. just bought $10 billion of its own debt, according to this piece of paper. It's a new record, an official $10 billion purchase when we have a $2 trillion deficit. There's no liquidity in the Treasury market, none. The Treasury was the buyer here. Who was the seller? I don't know. some Joe that had 10 billion to go. I remember when 10 billion in the treasury market used to rock the world in the 90s. We used to go to church. We all went to church the night before they issued 13 billion long bonds in one day. Now it's a footnote. It's a footnote. It's a footnote. There's no bid for our debt. So this big, beautiful, whatever it is, if they go through with that has to be accompanied by a massive bailout from Powell and Bessent. Massively. And, whether that happens or not, when you have the president of the United States and the guy that helped him get elected, unless it's pro wrestling, going at it on Twitter, it's a demonstration of government ineptitude. At best, it's pro wrestling. It's like a rehearsed thing. I don't know. It's a rehearsed thing to get Elon and Doge somehow back in to actually cut costs. But you know what? I doubt it, because as we discussed on the YouTube member podcast, the Orange Man was in office before, and this behavior is consistent, whether you like him or you don't. One has to wonder. It's like, Toby made a great point. There was a point where 100K Bitcoin was like ridiculous. Like, oh, don't even talk to me about that. That's insane. And now it's gone back to 100K and everyone's like, the world is ending. The world is ending. I'm like, oh, okay. The world is ending. The world is absolutely, positively not ending. It's not ending. For God's sakes. You know what I'm saying? It is absolutely not ending. God. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Don't forget to hit the like button. We're still trying to get to 200 likes. Just Ariel, my favorite macro guy. Up, silver at 35. Probably nothing. Silver, gold, platinum, Ethereum. Spare you the statistical lecture. Oh my God, a CoinDesk article dated June 4th. Crypto without privacy isn't crypto. They must watch the show. Scale and privacy aren't contradictory goals. Zcash develops a privacy digital payment network. Hey, folks, you think what's going on in government now is scary? Wait until the pendulum swings back to the left. Wait until tomorrow when the left is leveraging whatever, plant medicine, Twitter rage Elon's got going, and the left picks up on it. Those people? Their money is their money. Your money is their money. Yeah. Those people will be back tomorrow. They're like, ooh, look at all these cool Elon tweets on the desk saying he's out. Let's get this going around the room. Elon tweets. Let's go get the Orange Man. They can go get the Orange Man. You'll have a big, beautiful bill from some tax authority if you don't get private. Like Michael Saylor now never got off Bitcoin. You're never getting me off this. Monero's up today, by the way. Monero is up today. When your bank tells you to buy Bitcoin, it'll cost you $1 million. Very interesting that there's almost no euphoria post-Bitcoin conference. Bitcoin conference was 8 days ago, 6 days ago, 10 days ago, May 25th. Everyone's selling. Bitcoin is the greatest thing ever. Custody your Bitcoin with us. I didn't think there was going to be a conference curse. I guess there's a conference curse. Normally they do it during the conference. This year I was like, we're okay. Well, okay. Now we're just going to take it down. And this always happens. Like Michael Saylor buys a bunch of Bitcoin and it gets slammed. They slammed it on anything. It's an excuse trade. That's what I call it. It's just an excuse trade today. It's absolutely insane. Call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill Bill. Not this bill, although I don't know. That might be entertaining for YouTube. We might get some really good ratings if, I don't know, we dressed Girl Bill up in this outfit and we did that on the air, but, maybe not. Who's going to scream into the mic after that, though? Is it time to create a new political party? There is a new political party, bro. It's called the Deep State. Best be careful. They go wherever. They're like the Blob. You push it out of one area, they go to the other. You know, you cut defense spending over here, and then all of a sudden they want to rearm Europe. Careful with that. Like Bitcoin, Ethereum, every time you pull this up. Elon says, without me, Orange Man would have lost the election. Orange Man says, Elon just went crazy. Right? Easiest way to save our money is cancel Elon's contracts. This guy just built a rocket to save 2 American astronauts. Who's right? Twitter says Elon. Wait until Elon buys Bitcoin or Doge. Oh, it's got to happen. I've been waiting for this. This has got to be it. Right? Elon taunts the Orange Man. Okay, if they did this, it would be the end of the International Space Station. This just gets better and better. Go ahead, make my day. Getting a little bit, testosterone rising. Got to get Melania in here with like a bucket of cold water and be like, okay, yeah, dude, let's all put our phones down. Big, beautiful bill will trigger an ugly U.S. default and a roll for Bitcoin. So this guy is the director of Euro Intelligence, and he writes in a column on European affairs. Opinions are his own. You know, I want to be the head of a large organization where I sit around and get paid to basically rewrite whatever Ray Dalio says. I don't think that's the answer, although, you know, governments can only act irresponsibly to a point. The solution, the message that needs to get sent is through crypto. And if Elon is smart, he will push the crypto button right after the payroll number. Or somebody will. Maybe Jamie Dimon will. Maybe some bank will go, hey, we're done with this. We're buying. Right? I'm in. Now, BlackRock is already doing all the Ethereum they can get because people are going to start pouring into the Ethereum ETF. Because Vitalik has discovered public relations and narrative change. Everyone's like, oh, I'm buying billions worth of Bitcoin. Vitalik's like, I'm buying 1 million of a privacy coin. Have fun with the big, beautiful bill. I love it. I love it. Trump pressures Senate. Yep, they got to get that crypto bill done. I hope it's not tied to the big, beautiful bill. Please tell me it's not. Base layer 2 expanding aggressively. Again, the Circle IPO just told you about the overall value of crypto. It just told you, right? Marathon Digital sets post-halving record with highest Bitcoin production since January. In other words, Bitcoin is operating the way it was in January, and the rest of the market is dead. People think the market's going to stay dead. I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, people are buying bets in the legacy market or in the options market, that Bitcoin's just going to go to 300,000. Like with these type of bets, timing matters. So what's up with that? Well, you know, we could go through what's a call option. Okay, maybe I can drop this in the chat. Eagle King is not here today, not sharing the screen. I hope I have been sharing the screen. Okay. $300,000 bets. $300,000 bets. Okay. How does that happen? Well, you wake up one day and you have a problem with the dollar. It's that simple. And this has happened before in foreign exchange. Just the thing can just break and fall free. Or crypto can just get loose on its own as the dollar breaks, Bitcoin, ETH, all this stuff just explodes. Uncle Sugar's military to back Bitcoin strategic reserve. How worried are they about the dollar? About the purchasing power? Huh? Yeah. Pentagon wants hard money to make sure it can do its procurement. This is no joke. U.S. risks being front run on Bitcoin reserve by other countries. Yeah, I mean, I guess we want to pay $250. We should be buying it to back bonds now. There's another $100 million bet. This has got to be a PsyOp. I can't believe this is real. I mean, I know they're tracking it online, but I mean, this guy's tried to buy the dip twice and keeps getting liquidated. And he buys the dip on 100x leverage. You don't buy the dip on any leverage. You DCA down, and then when it turns, then you start cranking the leverage up. But I mean, they just keep liquidating him and everyone else. It feels like a trap. It's like, ooh, I'm going back in. I'm in the trenches. I'm in leverage. Everyone follows him into the abyss. The giant BlackRock monster standing down there just eating your lunch. It's unbelievable. Look at this. We tried to do this. Tried to do it with something called Block 47. We will be back, those guys. Tokenized emeralds moving through Standard Chartered. Real world assets is happening, and it is going to happen at a much, much more brisk pace than it is now. What's the difference between TradFi and DeFi? There won't be any when the banks get involved in DeFi. There just won't be any. There won't be any. Now, this was a joke 2 days ago. You have to wonder about the Orange Man's personal involvement in Twitter outside of the standard crime family grift, to be honest. They know how the sausage is made. Remember how Michael Saylor keeps saying, if you knew what I knew? What exactly does he know? And did he hear about it at Mar-a-Lago? That the Trump family is going to get long, and they're actually front-running the actual government themselves. Because they're going to have to do it. I don't know if they're going to have to do it now or they're going to have to do it later, but they're going to have to do it. And they're digging their own grave with this big, beautiful bill because now it's a public relations spat. And we have not heard from the left, right? The left is letting Elon do all the work today. What are they going to do tomorrow? Well, the left's going to be on the Orange Man. AOC, the bartender from the Bronx, you know, attractive individual, presentable, right? Fiery, way off the left wing deep end, but it may not seem that way tomorrow. People may be listening. Thanks to Elon. And hopefully Elon is smart enough to go, well, okay, boss. Now that the medicine is, day one of the IV and medicine's worn off a little bit, maybe we need to figure out what damage control looks like here and get Tesla people, get our Tesla base fired up through crypto. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. The 89-minute chart of DOGE Coin. So I would have thought this formation was bullish, but it wasn't. They broke out at the bottom. And they traveled the distance of the range from the point of the breakdown, and you have a 17-cent target on Doge. The absolute perfect location for Elon to come in and buy it with both hands. Naturally, this breakdown, it looks terrible. And you could also say that we got a little bit of this going on. How about a little bit of this? You want live TA? Let's do live TA. You imagine, especially since it's got this, obviously it's got the same name as the Department of Government Efficiency, which, looks like a bunch of, I don't know, dare I say, patriots that got taken out to the woodshed. Normally, whatever they do on that right shoulder, it does feel like it's going to zero. I mean, this would be absolutely classic. I mean, everything that you've seen below this level, all these moves have been like blow off bottoms, give up trades. I don't know. What's the incentive to take it down? It's already down 10%. It's like ripe to explode. Just to explode. Look at this. Ethereum 4-hour chart on DeMark. How lovely that they gave us the 13 bottom. It's like beautiful. This is like the beautiful chart. 13 bottom on ETH inside of a box range. You had another one over here. Didn't give you much of a reaction. I just can't believe ETH inside of a square range with a 13 bottom is not a buy. Solana, 9 bottom. I thought Solana looked good this morning. I was like, hey, it's a 9 bottom today. Now it's a 9 bottom, 8% cheaper. Awesome. And then I literally, we're talking about like, you know, we're talking about dark 30. Like this literally was all night. And I wake up and that's what I see. 9 bottoms, 13 bottoms. I'm like, oh my God. Got some new stuff today. So advanced. Look at this. I mean, this was the absolute cherry on top of the Gann report. So here we have Ethereum.c. This is the value of all of the coins inside the Ethereum ecosystem. Currently at $720 billion. The Ethereum ecosystem, the top coins in the Ethereum ecosystem is $695 billion. The Magnificent Seven is worth 17 trillion. If you really want to have a laugh, Solana.c, the Solana ecosystem. Perfectly sitting on a 38% retracement of its recent move up. So you've heard of others. Eagle King found this. These are like the ecosystems. TA on the ecosystem. Conveniently back to its high, right? Roughly retesting the last orange man, buy my stock, pump and dump, whatever tweet that was, that created all this total insanity. Layer ones as a collective, down 4%. Hopefully finding support right there, right? This was the orange man's last tantrum, right? All the way up, all the way down on that tweet. This is not a good formation. It does look like a head and shoulders top. So hopefully we're done with this. But again, all of these coins down 4%. If you go back to the watch list, I mean, I don't know that you're going to be able to get Bitcoin down below 100 again. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Charlie, the positive cat, is here. Welcome, sir. Yav is here. Why are the markets down? Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart, right? A, B, up here, C. A classic retracement. Unwinding most of May and a lot of the Bitcoin FOMO with a little extra special stop loss going on there. Just absolutely nailing you. Nailing you. For what? Because two guys are fighting on Twitter? We're selling. Oh, okay. Okay. XRP, nothing going on the daily chart. Let's check the 4-hour. Okay. One candle away from a 9 bottom as they wick the stops from the late May low. Right? A, B, C. Just a giant correction, zig and zagging back and forth. You have to ask yourself, How much better off will I be if I can grab some of this stuff now? Okay, render, very simple, right? First leg up, second leg up. First leg up, second leg down, third leg up. And of course, what happens in the second leg down? They just get everyone out, right? Everyone negative, everyone positive, everyone out. Like out, in, out. Right? It's like in. Vitalik buys a privacy coin. The left rises from the dead tomorrow. Tomorrow. Let's see who else is here. Grandpa Keto read the report. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Find out now, and that is the market update, dude. Can we have crypto guidelines before SEC to clear XRP first? Dude, XRP has been cleared because they have stable coins. Stable coins generate $2 trillion. $2 trillion projected in demand for treasuries. 2 trillion less treasuries that the Fed has to buy. Because right now we don't know who's buying all these treasuries. We don't know who's doing that. I think the bond market is sitting around with this big, beautiful bill going, well, you know what? This can't happen. And if it does, they're going to have to just print. They're already printing. Stable coins help the process. I mean, can you imagine what happens on Solana if you have $1 trillion worth of stable coins sloshing around the Solana ecosystem? Yeah, that becomes unstoppable at that point. Okay. How about LA Lagrange? Okay, let's see if I can find it on TradingView. I have it on TradingView. Okay, it looks like it's brand new. One thing about any of these new coins, knowing nothing about it, is it's not exactly square. This part is. This is Lagrange 5-minute chart. Partner has said, you want to buy the new stuff. You want to get the new stuff. Okay. Cullen says, lock in on Solana. Okay. You know what? I got to tell you something about lock in. Those guys are spamming my Twitter like I've never seen. And not just spamming it. They're spamming it with like really cool art. Like, oh my God, who's doing this? Like, is the machine creating the images and then they're spamming it out? How do they do this? All I know is the guys that lock in are motivated, right? Alpaca swept their lows. Okay. Big Rich, $2 trillion boom. TRON coin. Certainly. This actually came out like Toby had this as a top pick. The GAN model had this as a top pick. I think we want something bigger than 5 minutes. I don't know, man. If you look at Lux Algo, it's at the bottom of, it's at the bottom of one of these open mouth expanding triangle formations. Okay, assuming TRON is trading right at $3 again. Toby mentioned it today in the YouTube member podcast. The idea of a bigger the base, the higher in the space. Can't imagine where she got that term from. But she has her own way of doing things, and we relate. Like, she has her terminology. I translate that. I'll say something. She'll translate what I say. That's the whole cool thing about the podcast. Also, you get a lot of the intense stuff. in a relatable format. But if you want the reports, you know where to go. Okay. Got 17 Plat members. Congratulations and thank you. There is absolutely no way today is not a shopping day in crypto. Total altcoin market cap. Slamming it right into a Lux Algo support zone. Making the head and shoulders bottom look even better. I mean, do you realize what happens if this holds and then this thing turns around and goes the other way with this head and shoulders bottom? I mean, you're talking about altcoin market cap. The premium zone in altcoin market cap is like 1.2 trillion. It's currently trading at 816 billion, giving you a little markdown. It's down because it's the payroll number. It's down because of Eastern Europe. It's down because two guys are fighting on Twitter. High-profile guys fighting on Twitter. You know what? If all he did was fight on Twitter and didn't do anything, the market would go up. Because when government does anything, it's usually wrong. It's usually wrong. And that was part of the problem with the election, right? There was a lot of good stuff for crypto, so we all got kind of excited, and Brandon was kind of a disaster, but everything that guy was doing continues. If anything, as of now, the optics are for whatever that guy was doing to happen in plain sight between Palantir, Eastern Europe, and this big, beautiful whatever, right? I mean, my assumption about the big, beautiful bill was that they were going to put it out there. It was going to be absurd, and then someone would protest, and then they come back in and give what they really wanted. Say, okay, I'm sorry, we didn't put enough cuts in. Here's the actual cuts. This is what we actually wanted to put out there. A little bit of reverse psychology. Now it's just, I don't know, man. It's like everyone's got to change. Everybody needs a diaper change on this. It's a mess, right? It's a mess. Like, I don't know how they backtrack out of this. The left's going to attack tomorrow, right? Crypto's the only way out. If Elon wants to he can't make fun of him on Twitter anymore. So the only thing left to do is buy crypto. And even if none of this happens, you got to get involved. Toby said it in her way. I said it in my way. Listen, once upon a time, I would say, listen, you got to pick 3 coins. You got to just do that. Now I'm like, well, you know what? In the small cap zone, particularly in AI, because we unveiled, 8 new small caps today for a shopping list. A lot of them that had been talked about before, right, by both Toby and the machine. That's the GAN model. We're like, you know what? It's not investment advice, but you got to get a bag. You got to put like 6 or 7 things in a bag with some coffee or some beer money, right? Toby is high class. So her analogy was, instead of spending a couple of $100 to go out to dinner, put stuff in the market. In the event that that's not in your budget and it's more like Subway and Starbucks, put that in the market. Find somewhere to put it. It's not investment advice. It's survival at this point. Let's go to crypto equities because I just can't control myself. This is Wolf, right? Whatever made it go up 10% yesterday, I don't know. They're just summarily unwinding all that because why? Because it's the payroll number? I guess, right? Meanwhile, just so you know, the entire world followed this. And this, to be honest with you, looks like a gap-filling exercise. They're filling in the gaps from all this nonsense on the way. So it was stupid on the way down and then stupid on the way up, right? This is Tesla, by the way. So Tesla is an absurdly expensive stock, finance math wise, but it just filled a whole bunch of gaps and retraced 62% of the up move. And he accepts Bitcoin or Doge for cars. And this is off to the races. And all he's got to do is come out and say, you know what? The whole thing's irresponsible. Now, the only reason that wouldn't happen is because Bessent or Powell is on the phone going, please don't do that. Please stop. The whole thing's going to come unglued. And I don't think Elon cares. Whoops, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay. So Tesla, again, filling gaps down to the 62% retracement. They say gaps get filled. They got filled. All of these crypto equities, even the ones that they want to be short, like MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy got to its gap, but it couldn't get back in there. Still think that gap's going to get filled. They think Michael Saylor is irresponsible. If anything, Michael Saylor might be irresponsible for not buying other cryptos in addition to Bitcoin. Gold can still get to its premium zone, but there isn't a lot of room to get there, right? Gold hasn't been able to get through its premium zone yet. A lot of people gushing about silver. Don't blame them. Luxalgo putting support underneath, but the premium zone's at 35 on the daily chart and on the weekly chart, right? You know, if you want more room to move in silver, you got to go to the monthly chart where the premium zone is at 51. And by the way, this is an accumulation cone, so it's eventually going to happen. But, you know, I know this is a good play, and, you know, precious metals is obvious. Let's just look at platinum, because I think platinum is like the ETH. Platinum is the ETH of the metals market. Right. Platinum. Monthly. This is going to absolutely explode. And you also have to start asking yourself, what happens if the Russian retaliation is economic? When you have a diamond, you usually travel this distance from the point of the breakout. So that's the possibility of a 75% move in platinum. Now you're like, really, Bill? I'm like, yeah, really. If platinum can go up 75%, what can happen in ETH and Solana? ETH already did 80% off the lows, and there was a GAN reason for that. It's in the report. I mean, seriously, if I had known that, I'd have been like, oh my God, this is the day. Like the GAN math had that bottom to the day. 1,024 days after the 2022 bottom. Don't know what I'm talking about. Please go check it out. Right? You can watch the executive summary in the podcast, or you can get the actual report. I'll also be discussing it in 6th Street Crypto, which is the VIP tier inside Patreon. This is when you got to get involved. People will say, well, platinum is just being used as an example. Like, like I missed everything. Like I missed this move 15 years ago. I missed the move to 2000. And I missed the move in Bitcoin. People don't realize when Bitcoin was at $100, everyone was afraid it was going to go back to $5. Now with platinum, everyone's like giving up on it, doesn't want to talk about it. And then all of a sudden you wake up and it actually leads everything higher because they've got to devalue the dollar against everything. That includes Ethereum. That includes commodities. From gold to platinum to yes to water. All of it. I mean, ETH on a monthly basis is right on like a breakout zone, right here on this fib circle at about 2,500. It's literally right there. I mean, seriously, it's like a make or break type point, right? You could break out and you could break down, or you could break out and go this way. This is a big triangle formation in ETH. Notice how on this monthly chart, they took out the bottom, right? What happens when you break out of the bottom and it's a false breakdown? You turn around and you take out the top. This is 3,300. I know these are dangerous terms, but to me, that almost feels easy. Almost. Okay. Folks, you definitely want to check out the reports in our VIP areas. There's Patreon. There is YouTube Premium. The great Santini is here. Welcome. Yeah, sorry about the screen share. Hopefully you got the message. TRON with a little 6% pump in 6 minutes. Cullen Bohan is here. Welcome, sir. Share screen, please. Ouch. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, folks. That is the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.